Hi, my name is Isis Miller, and I am the Community and Events Manager for Black Girls Code. BGC works to eliminate the digital divide by introducing girls of color to the tech industry through skill building workshops, after-school program, mentorship, and so much more. But what we really want to do is show our girls what's possible for them. We want to show them that they can go from just being consumers of products to the creators and founders and future tech bosses of tomorrow. I joined BGC just before COVID-19, and let me tell you, I was so excited to be able to join an organization who was truly rooted in community and really doing the work that I hold dear. And I've had the pleasure of meeting some of the most incredible girls that you'll ever meet. They are precocious and curious and determined and truly show up wanting to fix the problems in the world. And it's our job to give them the tools to do just that. A little bit of background information on BGC. We were founded by Kimberly Bryant in 2011. Kimberly, who calls herself an accidental entrepreneur, really got the idea from her daughter, in that her daughter showed an innate curiosity and interest in computer science. And when Kimberly, herself an engineer and all too familiar with being the only woman of color in so many of these spaces, wanted to encourage that love of computer science in her daughter. So when she went to sign her daughter up for a certain workshop, she noticed that there was a strong lack of diversity. Knowing that this mattered, knowing that having teachers and other students that she could relate to and look like her, she decided to form an organization for like-minded students. And thus, BGC was born in 2011 in a basement in San Francisco with just 6 computers and 8 girls. And here we are today. We have to date served over 20,000 students. And what we really hope to accomplish, our mission is to serve and to teach 1 million girls to code by the year 2040. And of course, this is no small feat. We know that, but we also know that with the help of our community and other organizations who believe in us, we can absolutely achieve this. In my time at BGC, I've had the pleasure of working with some of the most incredible volunteers who really keep our organization running, our incredible staff member who are hardworking and truly dedicated to our mission. But again, overall, it's the girls. It's the girls why I wake up every day. For instance, I'd love to tell you all about Samaya. Samaya joined our organization at the tender age of just 7 years old. And she was just this lovely, precocious little thing who was so excited to learn and share and grow. Samaya has since been with BGC for over 5 years, and in that 5 years she's had such an incredible experience and had the ability to not only gain these hard skills that are going to make her super successful in the future, but she's also had an opportunity to grow other skills as well, like her public speaking skills. She's been in conversation with leaders from Lyft and Dropbox. She's spoken at conferences like Afrotech and South by Southwest and TechCrunch. She has also interviewed Will Smith and met other celebrities and gotten to tell her story on such large platforms. Right now, we're actually working with her to build out her own web series where she shows other students how they can get involved with STEM using products that they find around the house, their everyday items in the pantry. And let me tell you, Samaya does all the work. I mean, I'm there for moral support, but she is the star. She's the editor. She comes up with the idea. She films it herself, and she gives it her all. And it's students like Samaya and girls like Samaya that really remind me of why I do the work that I do. It's really about encouraging them and giving them the tools to succeed, because, I mean, as cliche as it sounds, the children are our future. And I'm curious to see what a future looks like when all of our students have a seat at the table, when all of them have a say, when we have the best and most creative and brightest minds able to truly contribute and to speak up and to ideate and to create and design a future where we're all seen and heard and represented. So that's why we do the work that we do. It's not about today. We're building a future. We're building a tomorrow that's promising, because everyone will have those tools. And so I would love to also talk about sort of what it has looked like in this interesting time and place. We've certainly COVID-19 took us by surprise. It took everyone by surprise. But in the way that human beings are, we were resilient and we got innovative, and we were able to open up our courses and workshops to absolutely anyone who wanted to join. And what that's done is really allowed us to grow our community, to show people who hadn't heard of us before who we are, what we do, and why we do the work that we do. And so yes, COVID-19 has forced us to sit at home, and we can't interact with each other in the ways that we want to, and we can't interact with our girls in the ways that we love to do. But what it's also done is showed us how many people we still have yet to reach, and being able to reach them now that everything is virtual we've honestly seen great success in doing it this way. So we look forward to the challenges that come, because what that does is allow us to think outside the box. It allows us to be innovative, to look forward and not behind. And so that's what we're doing at the moment. And it's been so promising, and finding new ways to build community, to not only connect with our girls, but to connect them with each other, and to connect them with mentors and opportunities that they may not have had before. And the work that we do really is centered around community, and that's the crux of my job. It's right there in the title, and that's really what I get the most excited about, is how can I wake up today and build community within my team, within my direct community in which I live, within the world in which I live, with our girls and our families. And so I'd also like to talk about a little bit about how we operate and sort of what we do. Really, we focus on a few things. So it's website development, of course. Web development is huge. Game development, the kids absolutely love our game development, as well as our app development, as well as robotics. So we chose these topics really because these are the things that kids interact with most on a day-to-day basis, as well as the things that pique their interest and they want to know how to build and create. And we've seen, again, great success in doing these topics. We do our build a workshop or build a web page in a day workshop, our game development workshops, our robotics workshops. They are hugely successful, and a lot of them they get sold out pretty quickly. Our slots get filled pretty quickly, and that is always encouraging. But I think what comes out of it for me most of all is not just really around the hard skills. I can't say this enough, but it's when we receive these messages from parents who say, well, my student has been, taking your classes, and I'm watching them grow and learn, and that's exciting. But what's come out of it more than anything is their self-esteem. We've noticed they're more confident, they're more able and willing to speak out and ask questions and to talk about the work that they do. And long after the workshop is over, they're still tinkering and they're still working and they're still asking questions. And I think that's what gets all of us out of bed, and that's what gets all of us excited about the work that we do, is knowing that not only are we giving them these skills and teaching them these incredible marketable skills that are going to help them secure jobs and employment in the future, but we're building their self-esteem. This is so important, especially when it comes to women and women of color who experience so much imposter syndrome. I think that for me, it certainly hits home for me, and feeling like I don't belong in a space, or I'm not good enough to be in a space, especially when a lot of these fields are dominated largely by white men. To tell a girl that you absolutely belong here. You absolutely have a place here. Not only a place here, but you can absolutely lead. You can be the boss. You can be the innovator. You can be the creator. That to me is certainly the most profound takeaway, is to show them what's possible. And through representation, through showing them other Black and brown folks who look like them, who are doing these things, you see the spark light up in their faces, and it becomes the thing that keeps you coming back to work with renewed excitement. So this work is not without its challenges. I mean, we're all being challenged right now with COVID-19 and being stuck inside and having the anxiety of what will happen next and what's to come. That's certainly a challenge, and it impacts us and it impacts our team, and we absolutely know and hold space for the fact that it impacts our girls and their families, and not knowing what's going to happen. That fear and that uncertainty is certainly there for us, even as we look ahead in the wake of the murder of George Floyd and the uprising that is happening as a result of long-standing systemic racism that is overdue to be addressed. Certainly, we've seen an outpouring of support and engagement in people who want to volunteer with us and donate, and that certainly gives me hope. It gives me hope that people really do want change, that they really do want a better world, a more equitable world. And that, of course, is always what we are working towards. But that challenge, of course, comes with, how do we take on so many new volunteers and so many new companies who want to work with us? And that's a great problem to have. But I wanted to talk about how you can get involved with BGC. We've seen some really fun, creative ways that people have gotten involved. We've seen some folks who've done their own fundraisers where people have donated their first child's birthday and used the proceeds to give back to BGC. Or we've seen really adorable lemonade stands to raise funds for BGC. We've had large partnerships and people who've donated to BGC. We've had Instagram takeovers where people with large followings will, allow us the opportunity to use their platform to talk about what it is we do. But I think right now, when it comes to the individual, whether you have technical skills or non-technical skills, we can certainly use your help. Whether you want to, you have a background in coding and you want to volunteer with us, there's always room for that. Or even if you don't, we're working with our alumni and our high school age and college age girls to help them with the skills that they're going to need going off into the world, from interviewing skills to how to negotiate for your salary to helping them with their resume. These are the type of things that our girls need. So it's not just coders or folks with software engineer backgrounds. It is everyone, and there's something that anyone can do to be a part of the BGC family, and we certainly want to make room for that. So definitely, let's innovate. Let's find what you're curious about, what you're passionate about, what you have to offer, and help you find a way to give that back to our community, because that is so, so important. And truly, we couldn't do the work that we do if it wasn't for our community, from our corporate partners to our community partners to our parents and volunteers to those who simply spread the word or retweet us or suggest our programs to their nieces and daughters. That really does go a long way, because although we're almost 10 years old, we very much consider ourselves a grassroots organization, just a seedling. We're still growing, and we want to be worldwide at some point. That's what we're working towards, is that any Black or brown girl who wants to learn these skills has a space to do so in a culturally sensitive environment that really acknowledges who they are, their background, what they do, and what they're interested in learning. And so that is our hope, and that's what we do at BGC. In the year 2040, when I look back on this time, I want to feel overjoyed at the fact that not only did we reach our goal of teaching 1 million girls to code by year 2040, but we surpassed it. Not only did we equip young women with the skills to succeed, to land their jobs, their dream jobs in the tech industry and in STEM, not only did we empower generations of young women to feel good about themselves, to feel empowered, to feel strong, but more than that, I want to look back and say that we built a pathway to greatness for young women who may not have had that opportunity, who may not have been told that they are worthy, that they are deserving, that they are smart enough, that they are strong enough, that they are brilliant enough and creative enough to create a sustainable, equitable future for all of us. And that really is why we do the work that we do. Because today we face the challenge of not only diversity and inclusion challenges, but challenges of relating to one another. And I think that education really is at the epicenter of how we change, how we communicate, how we interact, how we bond with one another, and how we build together. So that is truly my hope. And I think that I share that with my colleagues and our founder, Kimberly Bryant. And that's why we are so passionate about our girls and about our community, because they show up with so much ambition, so much curiosity, and so much resilience that they become the people that I admire the most, because they continuously come forward and lead with hope. They lead with courage. And it is always going to be the job of the generation before them to equip the next generation with everything that they need to carry forth and to build futures where we can all live together peacefully, equitably. So I want, if you take nothing away from this talk and what I've shared with you today and the passion that I've shared with you today, know that you have a solemn duty, not to our organization, not to yourself, but to the world, to leave it better than you found it. And the only way that you can do that is to invest in our children. They're going to be the keepers of tomorrow. So I hope that we can work with you all, that we can inspire you all to get involved with us, to get involved with your local organizations who are doing this work. That is our true hope here, is that if you're listening to this, know that you have the skills necessary, you have the ability to help someone who doesn't have those skills, and you have the obligation. There is no better time than today. There is no promise of tomorrow. But what there is, and will always be, is hope. So I look forward to working with you all at Black Girls Code. Feel free to donate, to spread the word, to tell a friend, and to get involved. We're excited to meet all of you. Thank you.